At the Capitol with Representative Shane Jett. Representative Jett, thanks for stopping in mylegislator.tv.
Thank you, Daniel. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk to the constituents about what's going on and being transparent and accountable to the constituents.
Well, in following up a little bit from an in-depth conversation that we had last week, the water issues. We have some resolve in that. Talk about what's happening with our water.
We passed legislation last night, probably between 10 and 11 o'clock. We were working late, earning our salary here, and passed a bill that lays the parameters for and prevents, and takes some of the legislation that had been in place before that makes us weak in the Tarrant County lawsuit, puts into place some protections for Oklahoma, and lays the groundwork for a future agreement. And this is basically laying the groundwork for what we're going to do with the water, and later on we can talk about terms of sale if that push comes to shove. But what we're trying to do is strengthen our position in light of the impending lawsuit from Tarrant County, Texas.
And so there's a lot of research and studying that needs to go on, and I understand you're proposing to try to help with that.
Well, it's very important that the legislature not only can talk in abstract terms about the water issue, but what I'm proposing and encouraging Representative Del DeWitt, who's been the point man and really been a wonderful asset in the legislature on all things related to the water, is to put together a task force or an interim study with the other legislators to physically take them out to the area where the water in question is being talked about, look at the infrastructure, look at the layout of the land, take a look at Sardis Lake and the other lakes, and put some real life sight onto what we're talking about. I think it'll help the legislature. So we're going to try to put that together and take a look, maybe fly some helicopters over and get up the lay of the land. Very good. Also, concerning rural Oklahoma, there's been some good news with the REAP effort. Talk about that. Absolutely. We found out the Rural Caucus was quite frustrated. In fact, we met yesterday, and we understood that the budget, there was no budget allocations for the REAP grants, and those are the grants that particularly help rural Oklahoma in some of the infrastructure needs and other investment opportunities that come in to try to develop jobs in rural Oklahoma. Now, we in rural area understand that having an NBA team in Oklahoma City is great for all of Oklahoma, but we also understand that having infrastructure into place and the standard of living out in Tecumseh, Macomb, Earlsboro, and other places in Oklahoma is good, so we can afford to have those tickets when we come up to Oklahoma City and spend some money. So it's a balanced approach. So the REAP grants we thought were going to be gutted. It was zeroed out this year. We went out and creatively found a way to fund it. The fees that was charged was 25 cents a day if you were late on your driver's registration. We've raised that to $1 a day. So be careful, don't let your registration lapse. But for those individuals who are violating the law or forgetting, it's a little incentive. And I guess one of the comforting thoughts is if you do forget to register, the money will be going for a good cause to help rural Oklahoma. So, but that's what we're doing. It was a creative way to try to make sure that we held harmless or make sure that the development out in rural Oklahoma continued. So the REAP grants are safe, and thanks to the Rural Caucus, Representative Chris Steele was very helpful in that as well. And we all worked together and came up with a creative solution to make sure that all of Oklahoma continues to grow and prosper. An excellent thing about grants is it's money that we don't have to pay back, but the other side of that coin is sometimes we don't understand how to get to that money. Is that something that someone can call your office and get help with? Well, there's yes, they can call our office if they having questions. Most of these grants go to municipalities and some private efforts, but mostly it's for infrastructure development. So get with your mayor, get with your state representative, call my office. We'd be happy to help out in any way we can. And a lot of this funding, of course, in rural areas, communities 200 to 1,000 people, smaller communities that need help with fire engines or police cars or different infrastructure needs. Contact Representative Jett. Absolutely. We had a huge wall of fire, and we had about 17 different rural firefighter units that were protecting one community, and that would not have been in place if it hadn't been for the REAP grants they're putting into place. So a lot of times people forget what tremendous assets and infrastructure is being put into place by these REAP grants, but I'm telling you, rural America would not be the same without it, and I'm very proud to have been part of that solution. Another issue we've talked about is the rail issue, and really, our neighbors at Citizen Potawatomi Nation, Rocky Barrett leadership down there, has really led the charge in trying to get the most for our area in water and rail. Well, we said it many times before, but open the rail line between Oklahoma City and McAllister that goes right through the heart of House District 27, all through Seminole, is vital to economic development for our area. And it's been a real pleasure working with Chairman Rocky Barrett of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation, who understands, he gets it, and he understands that opening up jobs and opportunities all up and down that line is key and critical for economic development. And look at, they're tied to the land. Their economic development is our economic development. So I'm looking for ways to partner with them. I couldn't ask for a better partner than Chairman Rocky Barrett and Linda Capps and the team over the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. Looking forward to continue working with them. I know that their heart is in the right place, and they're leading the tribe in the right direction, and it's been a pleasure working with them in my legislative career. And this is something that the water issue is vital, and they're experts in water. I think they're going to be very helpful as we gear up for the lawsuit with Tarrant County, Texas. I believe the Native American partnerships are going to be very vital, and also the rail line, just working with the tribe and continuing to push for that. I've pushed it since I came into office and will continue to do so.
Well, that sounds like it would be good for all of us throughout the entire area. Thank you, and remember, though the legislative session has come to a close, it's not time for us to slow down. Now is the time to really gear up and become involved. Let your representatives know your ideas and that you want to become involved. Representative Jett, thank you very much for being with us again.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure to be able to come out and talk to the citizens. And again, this is the time we begin gearing up for next legislative session to come up with those ideas that are going to make your life better, or to take away those pieces of legislation that screwed things up. So let me know, and look forward to working for you and with you.